What's going on, guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So in today's video we have a couple things to talk about, including the DDoS situation currently happening in Titanfall. We also have some developer and community comments regarding Wattson, specifically why Wattson probably won't be getting a buff anytime soon, and also more developer updates on the lack of recolors being made in the store right now. So lots of interesting stuff. We're going to first start off from a tweet by Respawn saying, "We're aware of a new wave of DDoS attacks affecting the Titanfall games. Team is investigating." So if you guys don't know, DDoS attacks are basically when someone overloads a server and kicks all of the players offline, or at least temporarily offline. This has been a huge problem in Apex. It's also affecting both of the Titanfall games, and I've watched videos of YouTubers and also streamers playing Titanfall recently, and it seems like almost every single game is getting hit by these DDoS attacks just because there's not that many people who play Titanfall in general. You also got to remember that Titanfall is a game that you pay for, so many people are spending money on this game and not even able to play a single game. It's definitely a high priority for Respawn to fix this. Understandably though, since this problem is still happening in Apex, many people are wondering why these resources are going to Titanfall and not specifically Apex. But when I do get more information on these DDoS attacks, I'll be sure to let you guys know in a future video. Now, next up, we're going to talk about Wattson, because this has been a hot topic in the Apex community for the last couple of weeks. Many people have been asking for some kind of Wattson buff, considering that she has one of the lowest pick rates out of all of the legends. Now, I've been on Reddit and Twitter a lot, and I see what people are complaining about regarding Wattson. The general consensus about Wattson is that many people believe her passive shield regen is too slow, that her fences are useless, and that's partly because of the bug that causes enemies to not be slowed when going through them. Also, despite Wattson having a very high win rate, her pick rate is one of the lowest. One could make the argument that her kit is just not fun to use, which is why so little people play her. And then finally, people are saying that her kit only works in pre-made lobbies, specifically in higher skill tiers. Now, we have this post on Reddit that currently almost has 20,000 upvotes made by a guy named Sword1015. Basically, he was saying that Wattson gets no buff because of her high win rate, despite the fact that she does have the lowest pick rate, and he also says the most useless kit in high ranks and in pubs. Now, Respawn J Beebs, who's one of the live balance designers for Apex, was making some comments on this post. One of his comments got a response from a fan who said, "Odd question, but seeing as she does better in high levels, do you think it's at all possible that it's only high skill players picking her and therefore skewing her win rate?" J Beebs did respond to this saying, "We look at histograms showing percentage of players played on any given legend for different skill buckets. Wattson doesn't skew in any unusual way towards higher skill levels. What is significant is that her win rate is significantly higher alongside lifelines in the bottom 90% of players." He ended this by saying, "The paramount goal is to create a fun game, and while they do use data to help with buffs and nerfs, it's not the only information that they look at." Now, I also wanted to show you guys this graph posted by Daniel Klein over on Twitter. Basically, this shows the win rate for all legends in arenas, and in his tweet he said that Wattson currently has the highest win rate at 52.3%. He also said that he's very terrified of what will happen when they fix the Wattson fence bug, which is actually happening next Monday for those guys that don't know. Now, apparently one of the biggest reasons that Wattson has the highest win rate in arenas, and probably also has a very high win rate in the Battle Royale version, is due to the fact of low profile being removed. This is coming from J Beebs on his Twitter. He also said balance changes to abilities don't come close to moving the needle in the same way hitboxes and damage multipliers do in terms of win rate and encounter rate across all skill levels. Basically, he's saying that changing a legend's hitbox or doing something like removing low profile has a much bigger impact on that legend's win rate compared to just doing a simple buff. Daniel Klein also mentioned that Wattson's fences have a lot of negative power that many times you might not even notice. The example he gave is the fact that an enemy team might not push your team if you're playing Wattson because they see her fences in the vicinity. As a Wattson player, you might not even realize this happens, which is why he refers to it as negative power. Now, I personally don't play Wattson just due to the fact that I don't think she's that fun. However, I would love to hear from you guys that do main Wattson. What are your thoughts on this situation? Do you think she needs a buff, or is she fine the way she is? Now, for the rest of this video, we're going to be talking about the store in Apex, specifically developer comments on why they price things the way they do, as well as the cost for actually creating skins in game. Then towards the end, I'm actually going to show you guys a glimpse of what the store in the Apex Legends mobile version is going to look like. It's a lot different than what we have on PC and console. To start though, I want to give you guys guys an update on the ALGS Championship bundles and how much money EA has actually crowdfunded for the ALGS Championship. So this coming from Liquipedia Apex Legends on Twitter. They posted a tweet saying the first update on the ALGS Championship's crowdfunding prize pool has been published. Currently, $802,000 has been added to the prize pool since Tuesday. And for those guys that don't know, the way EA is actually crowdfunding the prize pool for the ALGS is by selling these ALGS bundles. Every time someone buys just a regular bundle, they're going to increase the prize pool by $5. And if you buy the Animal Kingdom bundle, which contains everything, they add an extra $20 with a total cap of $2 million added to the prize pool. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm very surprised that that many people have bought these bundles, mainly because I see people complain about the store all of the time, specifically how these bundles are actually priced. As you guys can see, all of these bundles cost 2,500 Apex coins. That translates into about $25. But go into the store, in order to actually get that much Apex coins, you can't just buy one of these. You either have to buy $40 worth of Apex coins, or you have to buy the $20 one and the $10 one. So this has been an ongoing issue, I think, for a while, but we actually have some more developer comments on Reddit going over the actual pricing of the store, and I want to share this with you guys because we rarely ever get any feedback from people who work on the monetization side at Respawn. Now, if you guys watched my last video, we learned that the reason that there aren't a ton of recolors coming to the store is because Respawn has to actually manually Photoshop every single bundle or skin that goes into the store, which according to them is a very painstaking process, and that's one of the big reasons why we don't get a ton of recolors coming into the store. Now, we also have this other comment from people who are working on the store behind the scenes at Respawn. I wanted to cover these two areas that the devs talked about, those being the content creation costs as well as the pricing in the store. So starting with this first topic, the developer said, as much as people think we can turn cosmetics out easily because our competition outputs content at a high rate, our team is much smaller and spends much more time on our skins. The part of the equation people miss is the expense side of the people we have working on these things and the fact that we can't work 24/7. It's more expensive than people think in terms of number of people and hours because people don't factor in tons of back and forth on concept, QA, ideation, creation, and etc. Now, in terms of pricing, which is actually like one of the big topics that I was hoping to hear about, they said, as mentioned, we think about this constantly and it's tough because we want Apex to be around for a long time. Us being able to continue to make the game depends on operating a healthy business. We're hoping players understand this is something we're working hard to balance, but when you consider the full picture, it's a tough challenge. There's a lot players want from the Apex universe, there's a lot we want to give, but we can't do that unless we're a healthy business at the end of the day. New game modes, maps, features all come at a cost we're trying to support. So what I was hoping to hear from this is why you need to spend $30 worth of Apex coins for a bundle that costs only $25, or why recolors in the past events were sold as bundles for Apex coins rather than legend tokens. The last comment that was made about the store was that recolors and rethemes that they do for skins take up the same creative resource which we have a fixed resource of. They definitely take a lot less time to make, but the problem with that is developing more recolors directly takes resources away from developing brand new skins. At a high level, the trade-off we have to make is making 10 recolors or one new legendary skin. Our new skins take a lot of time to develop because there's a lot of care put into concepting to make sure they feel right for each legend. We're still trying to get the operations and balance right between these items, and it's difficult to keep up with demand. So in my opinion, the simple solution to this recolor problem is just to hire more people. Like, I don't imagine it would cost that much money to get someone who just makes some basic recolors that they add into the store. Obviously, it's a manual process to do that. I could see like an unpaid intern having that job and just making like one recolor a week. I think even that would be a little bit better than what the system that we have right now is. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below about this. The last thing I want to show you guys is actually what the store is going to look like on the mobile version of Apex. So this was posted to Reddit by a guy named David TH422. In his post, he said, why is the store selection better on the mobile game than the main game? And as you guys can see, the store looks completely different than what we have on console and PC. There are a ton of skins available that you can purchase, even some skins that were only available in special bundles. Now, what's interesting about this, that you can tell that the currency looks a little bit different, and the reason that these aren't legend tokens and Apex coins is because the Apex mobile game is being developed by the company Tencent, the same company that created PUBG Mobile as well as Call of Duty Mobile. They're very famous for having a ton of different ways to monetize their games, and this is probably going to be no different with the Apex Legends Mobile. Now, keep in mind this is currently in a closed beta, so the reason that everything costs legend tokens, or whatever their version of legend tokens are, is because it's not an actual full game yet. I imagine once the full mobile version gets gets released. All of these are going to cost real money. I imagine the store might look a little bit different, but when I do get more information on what the final version of the mobile store is going to look like, I will keep you guys updated. Definitely let me know your thoughts on this store compared to what we currently have in the console and PC versions. But anyways, that concludes today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like down below, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.